We're live.
We are live.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hot Takes. If you don't know already, Hot Takes is a show that 116 and West does monthly with employees in the advertising agency about our skills, our expertise, marketing, agency. And if you have any questions, shout out. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, let's wait a second while we have some people join here.
What? We don't wait for nobody.
It looks like we have some more people, some fans hopping on here.
You guys are taking a long time to get on here. I mean,
7 people on Instagram. All right.
How come you can't see how many people are watching on YouTube? Oh, you can.
Yeah. YouTube.
Yeah. Yes, these are branded masks, Spencer/_Wilson.
Pretty nice, huh?
So I am Julie. I'm the media director, the integrated media director. I've been here at the agency for almost 4.5 years, working in the media department. I got my degree in advertising, so clearly I must love it because I'm still in advertising. And some fun facts about me is I like to run, travel, and shop when I'm stressed.
These are all true. I can confirm these.
Yeah, go ahead, Shan.
Hey there, everyone. So I've been in the agency world for about just over 2 years now, and I mainly work on the paid and owned side of digital media. I got my degree in marketing from, in my opinion, the best school in Idaho, BSU. Shout out to all my BSU people.
U of I actually has an advertising program, so
just
saying.
BSU only has the marketing program. When I'm not working, I basically like any hobby that's outside. So skiing, backpacking, trail running, all of that. Boise's really great for all of that. I see that Nick is not very happy about that BSU shout out. And then usually my day-to-day in the office primarily entails working in Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube. Basically, if it's any digital platform, we're probably on it and using it. I work on the paid side, basically start to finish. So, placing ads, optimizing, monitoring them, and then reporting on that campaign once it's done running. But yeah, we're so excited to share the media world with all of you guys.
I guess I should go into what I do. You guys should already know. No. I'm the director, so I manage the media team. So I'm more top level, working on all our clients, strategizing and creating media plans and helping my team out when they need me to, like getting in the trenches and jumping into platforms. So kind of a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. My mask keeps just slipping down.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can notice who's talking with our masks on.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do a quiz afterwards and see if you could tell between our voices.
Yeah. So we'll hop into some questions that we got asked previously, and if you guys also have any follow-up questions or questions that pop up during this live, just feel free to comment, and we'll do our best to get to those as well.
Yeah. So the big question is, what is digital and traditional media? Like, everyone wants to know. And I'm going to make it really simple because if I don't, everyone who knows me, I'll go into way too much detail and we'll lose all our followers really, really quickly.
Might go over that.
So traditional is your OG, I call it, like your originals. So your TV, your radio, your newspapers, your billboards, your bus wraps. So that's like the OG of advertising is what I call it. Mm-hmm. And then digital is pretty much all of your paid social, your Google, your anything that's on electronic devices that is bought programmatically, and that's kind of consumed digitally, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
And with people like spending an average of about 7 hours each day on the internet, digital media has become super important. And it's highly likely that all of you have already interacted with digital media today since you're streaming this either on Instagram or YouTube.
Yeah, so why should you what is this question? Oh, why do we wish businesses knew about digital and traditional media? I think there's a difference between traditional and digital in the sense of what's your goal of your campaign, right? So traditional is more of an awareness tactic. So it's the top of the funnel. So you're hitting a broad reach of people and you can't narrow it down as much, where digital can be a supplement to that and hit the lower end of the funnel to get those conversions.
Yeah.
So if you pair the two, I think it's like, bam, you're in it, you're winning.
Yeah, good to use a mix of it to catch people at all stages.
So the difference is what's the goal of the campaign. So there's not traditional, digital, there's no one's better than the other. And you can't say that traditional is dead because it's not. People are still consuming it all the time. And traditional is just growing to and adapting to the times as well. So like my example is Hulu, even though that is digital, it's consumed traditionally. So you're watching TV. That's what people say. So if I'm watching Netflix, everyone's like, I binge watched or watched TV all weekend. Well, that's technically a broadcast, like a traditional term. So it's just consumed traditionally, but bought digitally. Yeah. Very confusing. And I'll stop talking in the weeds again.
People love it. Let's look at our next question. So what background do you need to get into the field? I would say experience is definitely key. Any internships, either during school or after school. I internshiped at a music festival and did kind of the own side of media, and I really liked it. So, and then also just any electives or just, classes and courses you can take at your school. I know Julie and I both did National Student Advertising Competition, and that was pretty exciting. So just any experience and, something that you can dip your toes in the water with, I guess.
Yeah, experience is key. I think internships, and don't limit yourself on internships. I think that's the biggest thing in media. So don't think, I have to be in an advertising agency to get into an agency.
Yeah.
Any type of media experience. So working at any digital company or TV stations, radio stations, anything like that can give you experience in the media world is what I would recommend. So just don't put yourself in a box, really. So if you want to get into this position.
Looks like we got a question from Spencer.
Of course he's asking this. He knows my answer. He asked, what is your favorite Hulu original? And Pen 15, for sure. It has my heart.
I don't know. I
so funny.
I don't even know what my favorite Hulu original is. There's so many. I feel like COVID, I've kind of watched quite a few. So yeah, I feel like also Netflix has a lot of great shows as well.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay with my mask on? Am I jumbled? Dave.
Oh yeah, Dave. Dave is great, Danielle. I do love Dave.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
It's another question on here. This one. What do you both love about being in media? Go ahead.
I just love that, and you'll hear this a lot in just the agency world. Everything's, constantly changing, but especially in media, even the platforms we use day to day are just constantly, evolving, and it's always different. So I kind of like the variety and the everyday's different. I'm glad you guys can all hear us.
Good. I think what I love most about being in media is you can be really creative but analytical about it. So even though I may not be on the creative side, you can be creative in how you're placing media. So I get to be thinking really analytical, looking at the numbers, but also being creative in where I'm placing it. So I get a little bit of both, and that's what I've always loved about it. And it's always changing, so it always makes me think even more every day. So that's what I love. And it's always changing, and it's never the same. And my day-to-day is never the same. I wish I could say, here's what I do every day.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's
no,
different every single day.
I don't have a typical day. I could say maybe a typical month in terms of flow, but that's not even the same. So I think that's what's great about, media, is that we are constantly different every day, changing something, optimizing, and working on working on a bunch of clients that are so different and that have total different goals. And that makes our life interesting, really.
You definitely get to experience in a lot of different industries, which is exciting.
And that's what's great about being an advertising agency, is that you work on so many new clients and they're not the same. And I don't know, I just love it so much. If you get it, I'll stop gushing.
What do we already say?
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
What type of media do you think is most effective and least effective? I already answered that, and that's depends on your budget, and they're both effective. It just depends on your goals. So, and who's also working on your media. So if you have smart, intelligent people like us, you will hopefully that it will be effective, and we'll make sure that we keep optimizing to make it effective.
Exactly. Yeah.
The thing about advertising too is that things don't change overnight, right? So the longer you advertise, the more you can learn from it and keep updating and optimizing it to be effective.
Especially on digital campaigns, historical data is key. We love that. So.
Yeah. And like traditional, we all know the radio ads that are on constantly, and we've known it forever. And that's because they keep their presence there. So even if you do like a week-long campaign, that may not be effective and you may not see the results right away. But if you can make your campaign longer, then there you go.
Looks like we got a follow-up question that says, which form of digital media and or social media platform have you found to be the most effective? Again, I think it kind of depends on the client, but definitely I would say, just in my experience, like if you're looking for something like conversions or purchase, something like Facebook, Instagram, or Google, they're all pretty high converting tactics. So we've had pretty good success with that. And, using a mix of that also of other platforms, to bring in traffic, also really important, kind of like Julie was just saying.
Yeah, and it really depends on like who you're trying to hit, really. So it's just like if you're trying to reach maybe older demographics, Facebook may be the way to go because that's where they are on. If you're hitting like the younger demographics, Instagram would be the most effective. But also the mix of the two, because people are on both. So utilizing both of the mediums are probably the best, and having a good mix is the most effective. I don't think you can really pinpoint just one, because I don't think just using one tactic is the most effective, if that makes sense.
We mean like paid search or YouTube. Paid search is usually pretty high converting for Google. Yes. Google ads, yeah. Okay, Dustin said, do you have any media horror stories you can share? Oh, boy. All I have to say is Black Friday is like one of the craziest times of the year. It's not really like any type of horror story, but it's just, you need a lot of coffee to get through that week. And it's really exciting because you're doing so much at once. So I'll leave it there. What about you?
I feel like, in media, which most people don't know because we're in like digital world, is actually a lot of a people-to-people business. So working with a lot of people like reps and everything. And I don't know. I don't want to share. So
you meet a lot of interesting people.
Well, I think the thing is you just have to learn different personalities and roll with the punches, and also know that you are young and you're female and you just got to accept it. So moving on. Next question. What skills do you need to have to be successful? This is my biggest one, and I will always say it, is being so detail-oriented. You're handling a lot of budgets, a lot of numbers, a lot of tactics, a lot of demographics, targeting. That to be successful, you need to be detail-oriented and seeing every little thing and move slowly but fast. So everything's deadline driven in media. And so you have to move fast, but don't let the details go away.
Yeah.
So I think being able to multitask is very important, and also think critically constantly. Just knowing that, I mean, that's what given in life. We should think critically, but you should still think critically in media and be detail oriented. So
I'd also say just problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
Like Julie said, you got to be quick on your feet. And there's a lot of times a client will come to you with an idea, and just the way the platform works, like might not exactly match with the, you just have to be creative and work around just different ways that different platforms work, so you can get, your dollars like stretched to the best, I guess possible way.
Like, especially with what's happened with COVID, we really had to problem solve in most media, just because everything kind of just fell apart, right, in the whole world. So I think we had to be really creative in how to utilize the dollars best, and also shifting dollars to where people are. Everyone's media habits have changed significantly during COVID, and that's something we had to be aware of and move quickly to adapt to. So everyone started watching TV like all over again, and it's kind of crazy.
Binge watching
because they're just stuck at home. What else do you do? We just watch TV. So I think that's just being able to problem solve, think fast on your feet, but again, detail oriented. Okay,
that's kind of goes into also like what trends have we been seeing. I think just even seasonality with stuff, and then also COVID play huge factors into the trends that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and then like sports being canceled for so long, that really took a hit for anyone placing on TV. And the upfronts, which is what an upfront is putting your dollars up front, saying you're going to be like in all of these football games up front and pay for the whole season, where a lot of companies didn't want to do that because we didn't know, will there be a season? So I think that changed a lot too of people advertising dollars. So with sports being canceled, that was like a big hit, but they're coming back, and we plan to place there. Who isn't? Because that's where everyone's watching. Everyone misses sports. Like, who watches really? No haters to the baseball fans, but who watches like baseball on TV? It's so slow. So like, people are watching it, so we're gonna like put dollars behind that too. So knowing that habits have changed and people are just adapting to their lifestyle now, their work lifestyle.
Yeah, especially with COVID too, I think certain businesses definitely took a hit and maybe saw like, differences in their advertising, or if they were like more event oriented, they couldn't even advertise, because everything's canceled. But there's also like the flip side of that, where a lot of businesses, if you're like e-commerce or, you have an online platform that's doing successful, they're doing really well. So it's kind of interesting to see the differences just with, the pandemic happening, how it affects, all these different businesses, and just being creative around that and trying to, get around that.
And then, of course, it's a political season, which a political season means not just the election coming up in November. That happens all year long, political season. And that really takes a big hit because political advertising is there and you have to compete with those dollars. And so you just have to be really crafty in how you're placing, and even placing your dollars earlier in to secure inventory, especially in like TV and radio. You just have to act fast and just be flexible is the biggest thing when it's a political season, just because you're competing with so many political ads, and that's just the nature of political seasons. And it happens every, whatever, how many years.
Yeah, it's already happening. Give us a heart if you've already seen, if it was on TV or Instagram, wherever it was, if you've already been served a bunch of political ads. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen that, so it definitely ramps up here pretty quickly.
Yeah, and you probably saw them even back in the spring. So it just it just happens, and it will happen again, and it will never stop.
Yeah,
hopefully. What else is on this little thing?
Should we say what will happen to print?
Oh, someone asked, what will happen to print? Guess what? It's not dying. You may not buy it because you're maybe young, but they're also adapting to the times. So they're putting more of their publications online and people are subscribing that way. So I think when we say print, yeah, maybe not physically having it in your hand, but the print companies are adapting really slowly to the times, but they're not going away. They know that they have to make changes. So I think ruling them out is not the best answer. Ruling out any media is not the best answer until it really flops.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
And that also goes with little TikTok that Shannon knows more about. She knows more about TikTok than new media.
Oh, for new media? Yeah, I'm a fan of TikTok. Should we answer this question right here?
Oh, I guess.
Why is social media so popular as an advertising platform? Do you think it will last? This is kind of just like what maybe because I'm young. Yeah. I think platforms like, social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Google are so popular, kind of like what we discussed earlier, just because of their targeting capabilities and their super low cost per acquisition. And also the platforms are constantly changing and evolving. So, I think they're trying to get ahead of lasting and everything and, not getting pushed to the side. And, they're constantly optimizing and whatnot to make sure that they're still competitive. But, there's always going to be new emerging platforms. Like Julie said, TikTok. So
I'm not even on TikTok, so I don't know anything about it. So I can't even help you.
So I think just for any platform to last, it needs to change with the times and make sure it's staying up to date. And when there's new competition in the market, just, seeing what they're doing and how you can stay competitive, I guess.
To be honest, why social media or any digital media platform is really popular is because it's affordable, right? So it is affordable for smaller businesses to be able to place advertisements where traditional takes some bucks, you gotta ring out the dough for those because it's just not the cheapest medium. So I think that's another reason why it's popular is that people can afford it. And it's awesome that people can afford it and advertise there. And we're all on there. So we want to advertise places that we use too, right? So people want to be on social media because they're like, I'm on social media. So everyone else must be on social media. And that's also our job to wipe that out of our mind is being like, because I use this, does that actually fit the target audience? Yeah. Probably not sometimes. And that's just how it goes. But we have to think that way. But when people think of advertising, they think of their own media consumption habits. And that's where they think they should place their dollars, which sometimes if you are the target audience, that makes sense.
Yeah. And another thing to note, too, is just because it has a low cost and there are a lot more people on the platform, another thing to note is there could be more competition or, it could be a little bit more crowded of a marketplace, even though it does have, it is pretty high converting, but just something to, keep watching for in the future.
But it isn't limited by space as traditional can be. So inventory is an actual problem where if you're placing a local ad on a television, you may only have one spot in a 30-minute program of local ads. So I think that's what's really important. What happened? We're having a malfunction. There's a sun.
There's there's a glare on us. There we go.
It's it's kind of like we came from heaven all of a sudden. We just dropped in on you from heaven. We're glowing.
It's my white Instagram dress, man. What's going on here?
I don't know what happened to the lighting.
It's really showing off that I haven't been in the sun too
Maybe
much.
This is telling us to leave. I don't know. Does anyone else have any other questions? Did we answer everything?
I think we have one more, the last one right down here. We have one more question.
How do I drive traffic and find new leads via our company's SM platforms? And I'm assuming that's sales manager platforms. If I'm wrong, tell me. So like your Salesforce is what I'm thinking you're meaning. So you can use email marketing. You can purchase like email lists or start trying to gather your own emails, which is probably the best way to find your leads because you're finding people who are actually interested.
Mm-hmm.
So you can start running a campaign that's like on digital, so paid search, or on paid social, that's clicks to website to get you to the landing page where they may like have a pop-up of, you know, a form of email signups. So
Exactly.
Otherwise,
you see you just joined?
Oh, hi, Grant. She wants me to say hi. Yeah, what other questions?
Yeah. Does anyone have anything else before we kind of wrap it up here?
This is any random questions. You can ask us anything right now. This is the last time you'll ever see us again.
I think it lags a little bit too.
Is it a lag?
Yeah.
Probably. How's YouTube doing? How are you doing over YouTube?
We're pretty popular here on YouTube.
Well, if no one has any questions, or we're lagging really bad. AR or VR? Wow, very good questions. I don't have any answers to that right now.
Yeah, I can't say we do too much with that right now. I think, we wouldn't be against the advertising on it, but just making sure that there's a big enough audience on any like AR, VR type of platform before, purchasing, placements and stuff on a platform.
We don't do a lot of, and I could be so wrong, so I'm so sorry, Marco, that we don't really place too much on any gaming type of placements and ads.
We just don't really have clients that exactly fit that need right now. So
my brother-in-law, he does VR video games, and I'm still so confused on his life. So it's amazing. But yeah, we don't place too much on VR or AR, and I don't know what that will look like, and I don't know if our clients right now make sense just because we don't have any gaming ones. Does that make sense? Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Thanks, Marco.
Awesome.
I think that's it. So I'm going to read this. Thanks for cooking with me.
And me.
Leave us a comment and let us know what you'd like to hear about next time. Hit that subscribe button and find us on Twitter, Insta, and Facebook at 116 and West.
It was great talking with all you guys.
Hey.
Bye. How do I end this? Just kidding, I'm not leaving.
And you have to hit end twice. Now save it. Download video.
Download video or share to Instagram TV?
Download it first, she said.
Perfect.
That's a bit.
Yo, what frame, bro?
Bring this closer.
Oh, are we still on? And oh my God, I was